Welcome to Suan Sananta online summer program. Hi again, students. Now we will start week 3. Writing warm-up. Prompt. What is your plan for the Songkran holiday? What do you usually do? Well, students, please tell me, what do you do for Songkran? What is your plan? Where do you like to travel? Does your family have a vacation place? What do you usually do? Well, for me, this Songkran holiday, if I do go out, let's see. My plan for the Songkran holiday is to travel to... Where are we going? Well, I plan to go to Gochang if I can, but maybe that will change because of coronavirus. We'll see. My plan for Songkran holiday is to travel to Gochang. I will stay at a hotel by the beach. I will go scuba diving. And what else am I doing? And swim in the ocean. How about you? Will you travel? Where will you stay? Will you go and do a sporting event? Will you go diving? Will you go swimming? Oh, swimming. Tell me about your holiday plan. And the second part of the question, what do you usually do? What do you usually do? On most Songkran days, what do you do? Do you have a tradition? Where does your family go? Well, a lot of people play with the water. I usually play with water guns. I spray people with water. It is so hot outside. You can write anything you want. Please tell me about your plans for Songkran, and I will check it. Okay? Are you finished? Now let's do the next part. We have week 3, reading comprehension. So students, you will need to read in different parts of your education for grammar, for reading. You should read the question first and then read the story later. So I'm not going to look at this. I'm going to look at this. Who is he? Jim or John? Who had lived in the village longer, Jim or John? Which one of these is true? John's 80. John lived in the village 80 years. Jim was almost 80 years. Okay, let's look at the first question. Who is he? Well, we didn't read the story yet, but I see he is highlighted here because he had lived in our village for almost 80 years. So he is referring to we all knew something about John, but nothing about Jim. So let me get my marker. We can take this out. This is an extra clause and we don't need it. So he is referring to who? Does that help you? It's definitely John. Who had lived in the village longer? Jim or John? Well, we know something about John. He lived in the village for 80 years. Well, that's easy. We don't know anything about Jim, so it has to be John. Which one of these is true? John was 80 years old. John had lived in the village for 80 years. Jim was almost 80 years old. Well, C is not true. We don't know anything about Jim. So, no, we don't know about Jim. So now we have A or we have B. John was 80 years old? Or John had lived in the village for 80 years? What does it say here? Because he had lived in our village for almost all of his 80 years. Almost all, but not all. So maybe 70 years, 75 years. So it's not quite 80 years old. So A would be the best one. A would be the best one. Little tricky. Okay. Let's go down here. We have a story here. Are we going to read the story? No, don't read the story yet. Read the questions. The following refer to the same person. The fair-haired girl and Pauline. Anne. So we need to look for Pauline and fair-haired girl. We need to look for Anne, Swiss girl. Pauline and the Swiss girl. A young woman and the Swiss girl. So what two people are the same? Keyword, same. What two people are the same? Pauline and Anne did not know each other, were relatives, went to the same school, were the school teachers. So we need to look for Pauline and Anne. This might help us with this question because they're probably different people. Anne looked sad because. So we're going to look for this information in the story. She did not remember Pauline. She was blind. She had to wait at the station. She had no friend. Anne wanted to catch the train, so she goes on the train. So we're going to look in the story for the train. To Zurich, to the country, to the London, to England. Anne was sitting at the station because. So we're going to look for why Anne was sitting at the station. Her friend did not come to meet her. She missed the last train. She wanted to catch a train the next morning. She wanted to meet her friend. Now we're going to read the story. If you don't know a word, it's okay. Don't worry. We just need the answers for the bottom. We were in the main hall of Victoria Station. It was late at night, but there were still a lot of people coming and going, and we could hear the noise of the trains. Where are we? We're at Victoria Station. What is Victoria Station? That's probably a train station, so we're talking about trains. A good-looking, fair-haired Swiss girl of about 20 was sitting on the suitcase. The suitcase is her bag. She's sitting on a suitcase, a Swiss girl. Her chin was in her hands, like that. She looked tired and sad. Some of the people walking around her looked at her kindly, but she did not see them. So she didn't look at the people. She's looking like that, looked sad. Another young woman went by. She stopped in surprise and looked again at the fair girl. Why, it's Anne, isn't it? The fair girl looked up. At first she did not know the other girl. You remember me, don't you? I'm Pauline. So now we have names. We have Pauline here. And Pauline says, are you Anne? Isn't it Anne? Are you Anne? We were at school together. Anne jumped. Of course. My dear Pauline, I'm very happy to see you. What are you doing here? I didn't know you were in England. I arrived from Zurich this morning. Now I'm alone in London. I don't know anybody. What a bad day I've had. She doesn't know anybody in London, she said. I must sit on this suitcase until tomorrow morning. Ooh, she has to sit all day, all morning. I'm going to stay with some people called Forrest. They live miles and miles away in the country, but I have missed the last train. What are the words we need? We need to find Pauline. We need to find Anne. We need to find sad. And let's see. She's had a bad day. We know that she's sad. And what happened to the train? She missed the train. What else do we need to see here? Okay, so that helps you. We've identified the two people. We know what they look like. We know where they are. I didn't know you were in England. Okay, that helps you answer these questions. So please do this as your homework, and I will give you a grade. Good job. I'll see you next time.